point for review for statistics. This is from before break and after break. So anything having to do with statistics that you need to know for your test tomorrow. My preference is specific information, not just box plots. Tell us something about box plots so that we can see you remember things and you can remind your peers to remember things. So remember, rules for circles are shoulder to shoulder. This is our talking piece, so we're only talking if we have the talking piece. Remember, underhand to somebody that has their hand up, okay? Make sure you're not pegging. All right, I'm going to say Natalie's name so she knows I'm tossing it to her. Natalie.
A cluster is data that is grouped closely together.
A cluster is data that is grouped closely together. Awesome!
A histogram is a type of bar graph used to display numerical data.
Good.
A gap is a set of numbers with no value.
Good. No value.
I don't know.
Line plot to show change over time. Gathering.
Hold on, let me stop there. A line plot or a line graph? Yeah, line graph shows change over time. Line graph is the one that has a line. Plots have the X's.
So symmetry is the left side of the distribution looks like the right side.
Beautiful.
Retarded.
A cluster is data that are grouped closely together.
Good.
Alright. Box plot is used to show the measures of variation, also useful for very large sets of data.
Box plots, large data.
Eagle.
The peak is the most frequently occurring value in mode.
Okay, peak, most frequently occurring or mode. Popular.
A line plot lets us show how many times each number occurs.
Okay, so the line plot is the one with the X's to show how many something occurs.
Frequency distribution. How many pieces of data are in each interval?
Good. What about your toes?
My toes. The MAD is the average distance between each data value and the mean.
Woo! Mad, yeah.
Ooh. Sydney.
This is like the steps of MAD.
Okay.
So first you list the numbers they give you. Then you find the average, which is the mean.
Yep.
Then you subtract column A and column B.
Yeah, subtract.
And then the MAD is the mean of column C.
Okay, what if we called mad like MMM? Mean minus mean. Is that helpful? I just made that up. Mean, you find the mean, then you minus, then you find the mean again. Just a thought.
The triple M.
You're welcome. Triple M. Oh, the Triple M crew from Guttertown!
What?
Yes! The Toads! Mean, median, no Toads! Yeah, we're the Triple M crew from Guttertown!
Triple A battery.
Okay, continue.
Stop catching with this.
Okay, remember, only Sydney has a talking piece.
The mean is the sum of the numbers divided by the amount of numbers. No, here we go. Did anyone say anything about the peak?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you can still say it.
The most frequently occurring values or mode.
Good.
Jean, and I'm a high school teacher. I teach Avid 1 and 2 and English 2, and I love it very much.
How has the push-in support helped you be more culturally relevant or equitable in your teaching practices?
Oh my goodness, I feel like I have been immersed in this work my whole life, or not my whole life, but my whole academic life, there's been a resurgence of trying to educate my students and help them to understand how important culture is, and how it's good for everyone to be aware of the differences, and to find the differences to be enriching. But I would say that working alongside Kimberly, I have found it to give me permission. I feel empowered, and I feel like having someone to talk about the different ideas that I have, and to like not just have it in my head and think, oh, that's not going to work, or that's too much, or they're not going to be able to do this. It just makes me feel really empowered and excited. And so I have the confidence to present the activity, or to present the reading, or to present the discussion topics. And because I am confident in their ability, and I've scaffolded what they're going to be doing, and they spend time researching the information so they can speak more intelligently about it, I think that it's made our classes really exciting. Like the students are just very excited to partake. They come with talking points that they've already prepared, and then as they talk, new ideas emerge because they hear their colleagues speaking. And oftentimes, I feel that it gives them the ability to question and also challenge ideas, which I think is really important, because we want our students to be critical thinkers. So I think that this has really empowered me, and in that sense has also empowered my students. So it's been really great.
Would you recommend other teachers using the support?
Oh my goodness, yes. I wish it was like a must do. I wish that it was part of our evaluation system. I think that our population has changed so much, and we live in such a diverse culture, and the fact that we're not addressing these things and ignoring them, I think, is doing much harm. And I think that I had students this morning who said, I wish we had a class on this. And I thought that was so interesting, because they don't know how to talk about race or identity or ethnicity or culture. And so it's always awkward, and it's fraught with a lot of anxiety and fear that they don't want to be perceived, or they don't want their words to be misconstrued as racist, or as mean or terrible or stereotypical. And yet when they understand what those definitions are, and what they're being asked to do, and that we can have open and honest conversations without judgment, I think that it's such a wonderful tool that we should give our students as we prepare them for the rest of their lives and the next journey, which is college or career. Because I think education is number one in helping our students to be built up into the type of human beings that we want for our world to be. And I think that an educated citizenry is of the utmost importance in this day and age. And so, yeah, I can't talk enough about it. I mean, every time I'm talking to my colleagues, they're like, I want to know what you're doing, and share with me, or send me.
Minorities have a strong bias against minorities. It's that, like, everyone's stuck in their history and how things worked in the past, and our new generation is just coming in and realizing that, but we still have those outliers out there who still discriminate against all minorities, not all minorities, but minorities in general. And, like, it kind of just...
What I want to say is that kind of going, for example, when I walk into the store with my mom, she's wearing a headscarf, she's covered. So when I'm with her, I love my mom, but we automatically get stared. No matter what, we get stared, we get judgmental looks, no matter what. Every time we go into the store, that's just how it is. We can't change how, especially in this area right here, it's demographically Caucasian. It's rich, upper class, and in this school there are people who they make more stuff, and it is Caucasian. And you feel, I know for a fact that people of Caucasian ethnicity don't go through the same things that minorities go through. Yes, there might be this or that. There might be, oh, you're white. Oh, I know that. But African Americans, I know for a fact sometimes they'll be like, oh, look at that. But minorities do go through more persecution, especially in different countries, especially anywhere. We can get away from the fact of Black Hispanics and stuff. In Germany, when the that's of course the past. But they persecuted Jewish. They persecuted anyone, even here. It's just Caucasians don't go through the same things that minorities go through on a daily basis.
And that's also true back in history. If you look back, there's nothing like, oh, this was wrong with white people. Like, the blacks have never controlled the whites. Like, it's always been white supremacists over everyone. Like, there's never been a time that I could think of personally that I'm like, oh, wow, we had it bad.
We're gonna end with our person jumping in, and then we will continue this.
So, honestly, I think it's not even about history. It's about the media. Because on the media, you see always police shootings. It's always a black person. They never show white people, and that makes like African Americans more angry. Because like it's not even about the history. It's about the media. We have a racist president. Like I'm not even talking. Like it's kind of facts. Like he's a racist president, and he's like trying to influence. He's trying to seem good with Kanye. Oh, people are like, oh, I'm cool with the African Americans, but it's not. He's showing fake love, and like the media is not like CNN. That's fake news. They're like showing, like it's just mass more like robberies. They show black people. Like it's like okay, like more like a school stuff that happens. Like it's mostly about like but like that it's like one time a couple months.
Okay, so can we actually, I just want to have Patrick, because I feel like he wants to say something to clarify his point, because we did start this because of him. Go ahead. Guys, if the bell rings, let's finish before we leave. Go ahead.
Alright. So. Quiet.
Wait, guys, please let him just say his piece. Go ahead.
Some people may feel superior to others, but as humans, in this day and age, we all understand that we are all the same. Not the same, we are all the same species. We're all human. We know we're not created equally, but that's a good thing because diversity allows us to adapt and survive.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, guys, are we gonna
Okay, so I remember prior to beginning my equity journey, I went to a district-wide training, and the training was about culturally responsive teaching, and I was in there listening to the speaker present, and I was like, oh, I already know all this, I do all of this, but to me at the time, culturally responsive teaching was like reading a book about somebody's culture to the students and talking about the holidays and the clothes they wore and the foods that they ate. So I felt like I was doing the work that I'm being asked to do now. But the more I dug into it and the more I learned about what a technical classroom looks like and what culturally responsive teaching is, I was able to grow and understand that it was deeper than that, and I needed to look not just at those things that are typically known as culture, but look more at who the student is at a deeper level.
Okay.
So within my journey, I went to that district training. I thought, oh, I already know all this, but then I was pushed into doing the equity cohort through our district, which dug a little bit deeper and showed why some of the disparities were happening, how it's a systemic problem as opposed to just a problem with me in my classroom. It kind of opened doors for me. It made me start thinking about my teaching practices and how I was presenting information to students. So I became almost obsessed with learning more, and I went to more trainings, learning about biases and equitable grading and all of those kinds of things, and it pushed me even more. I tried to bring it to the staff at my school and struggled to get the words out that I wanted to with them and help them see what I was seeing. So then I began doing book studies where we I went to a white fragility book study. We did a Dare to Lead study with Brene Brown's book, and I'm continuing to grow. And even though I don't feel like I'm where I would like to be, I want to learn more, and it's kind of opened up a door of curiosity for me.
Go ahead.
Ready? Okay, so as far as my students go, last year I really struggled to meet my students where they needed to be met. I tried all of my teacher tricks, and with the group that I had, I just wasn't getting the results that I wanted, which is why I began the equity work and seeing if maybe there was something that I was doing wrong. Through there, I learned a lot of new strategies through CRT. I learned about understanding the students and building relationships a lot more through the work that I was doing with the equity. And this year, when I went into my classroom, I began going full force with all of the new things that I had learned, and it made a world of difference in my classroom. I had 5 students prior to coming into the 3rd grade that were labeled as problem children or behavior issues, and they had a slew of referrals between all of them that they just struggled behaviorally, and they were all put in my classroom. And leaving my classroom this year, none of them received a referral at all this school year. The high engagement and the strategies that were put into place made them want to be in the classroom. The year before, they spent a lot of time up in the office because of behavior issues, and this year they were really engaged and really wanted to be in the classroom. So they were able to perform and pass the 3rd grade, which was not expected of them coming in because of all the time that they had been outside of the classroom. But all 5 of them left 3rd grade, moving on to 4th grade, and they're all with no referrals from the school year, which was really impressive.
I'll put all the pieces, mix them up, put them together. Hold them up in the air as a pile I'm going to collect. Stay right where you are. That's fine. Perfect. Thank you. Keep that.
Andrew, we had a paper clip and Miss T didn't take it, so you.
Same thing.
Okay.
We're not same thing. I want you to think about what a title can be, and then what kind of writing are we doing? What kind of writing do you think we're going to be doing? Same thing. Work together. Talk it out.
This is how to get your routine of cereal. I got one. Yeah. I got the first. Let's know.
Together. Each of the pieces.
No, anything. I got it right here.
Okay, so putting it together like a puzzle, figuring out what goes together, and then what's the title? What kind of writing is right now doing? Figure it out.
Think about my time. I got one in the how to swim in the pool.
Wake up in the morning.
And also tomorrow.
Did you all read it?
I tried.
Got it together? Oh, fast. What could the title be? Okay, and what kind of writing do you think we're going to do based on what you were already talking about? Got it together? What could your title be?
That's a good one. Well, it's true because, like taking care of your teeth, like you're brushing it, you're doing it really well. So I'm pretty much right. We can't just do the same picture second, put on sunscreen.
The idea.
Okay, so
what is
that?
Oh, so what kind of writings do you think we made? You went from waking up in the morning, and then when you read that, you said how to make your bed. So what kind of writings do you think? What was the last one? What was the last one you had? How to get ready for the pool. How to make your bed. So what kind of writings do you think we're going to do? Okay. All right.
These are all mixed up. We're done. Figured out our
So what are you working on?
cereal, and we figured out what it is.
Okay, tell me about it.
It's routine.
Stop, put your eyes on me a minute.
Mom, I gotta stop.
Stand up where you are. Stand up where you are. Tell us the title of your story that you've got over there.
How to slide down slide.
How to slide down a slide. What's yours?
How to make your bed.
How to make your bed. What's yours?
How to make cereal.
How to make your cereal. What's this one?
How to go in a pool.
How to get ready for a pool. How's this one?
Brushing teeth. No. Taking care of your teeth. But we don't take it.
Okay, so what do you, they don't agree.
Okay.
All right, so listen. Taking care of your teeth. What's the other one?
Brushing teeth.
Brushing teeth. Okay, I want you to listen again. You guys must all pay attention. I want you to listen. Let's see if you can come up with a title that matches everybody else's. Listen for the pattern. Say it again.
How to slide down a slide.
How to slide down a slide.
How to make your bed.
How to make your bed.
How to get ready for the
How to get ready for a pool.
How to make your cereal.
How to get cereal in the morning.
How to brush your teeth.
Talk to your team, see if they agree. Got one?
Yeah. How do you?
All right, pull the pieces of paper together. Come back to your spot in the gathering area, Myra and Kenzie. Make sure you're doing it nicely. On his way. The office quick to go see your parents. Nope, he's gonna go on his own. He does every time. Thank you. All right, so we have a new type of book. What do you think the new type of book is going to be? A type of writing that you're going to do? What's it going to be? Everybody just tell me.
How
Yeah, we're going to write some how-to books. That's exactly right. We are going to write some how-to books, and you're going to be thinking about each of you has a special talent, or each of you knows something that you could write about. How to, it could be anything. I could write a paper about how to write lesson plans. It might put you to sleep. But how to write lesson plans. I could write how to be a teacher. How to be a teacher, though, is so big because I think about all the things that I need to do to be a teacher. I have to get it kind of zoomed in with my binoculars. Everybody put your binoculars on. Zoom in because I didn't say how to get ready in the morning because that would talk about getting out of bed and making your bed and getting your breakfast and brushing your teeth. I gave you some of the morning routines, but I zoomed in so it's one small thing. So you have 3 or 4 steps. I want you to think, let me ask you a really important question. Is this a fiction piece or is this a non-fiction piece we're going to be writing? Tell me.
Non-fiction.
Now I want to know why. Non-fiction?
Teaches me.
Aren't you teaching someone how to do something?
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little story. Last week, Mrs. Bennett said to me, hey, I've been thinking about spaghetti squash, and I don't know how to make spaghetti squash, but I know you used to bring it.
would you teach me how to make spaghetti squash? And I said, yeah, that's so easy. And I'm gonna be able to tell her the steps of how to make spaghetti squash. I can write her how-to book. First, you get the right spaghetti squash at the grocery store. Next, at home, you cut the spaghetti squash in half. In my house, I have to get a little help. I'm not strong enough to get it because it's really tough. I always have to ask Mr. Cheese to use his muscles. Third, you scoop out the seeds with a spoon, the seeds in the middle with a spoon, and throw them away. Then you get some butter and you spread it on top of the spaghetti squash. Next, you turn the spaghetti squash over, skin sides up, and bake in the oven for 30 minutes. Next, you are very, very carefully pull it out of the oven and flip them over. Finally, you take a fork and you scrape down the spaghetti squash so it looks like strings, like wiggly worms.
Like spaghetti.
Last, you eat it up. Yum. Now, spaghetti squash, I would not write a how-to book in 1 week because look how long those many steps are. You're going to think of something that we did not do here that you could teach someone how to do in 3 or 4 steps. Put your thinking ups on, think about it, think. Turn to your partners. Jelly person, start. Tell them some ideas what you could do, some things, how-to books that you might be able to write. Go ahead and do that. Jackson and
the first one, buy a fish, buy a tank for the fish, what are the tank, put the fish in the tank, then feed it food.
all right, turn back to me.
That's all.
Now, I'm sorry. Did everyone thumbs up if you did not? Thumbs up if you got to share. All right, there's some people. So go ahead and turn back. And peanut butter people, if you didn't get a turn, go ahead and share yours. I'm sorry. Wait a minute, I'm listening to Landon right now. How to make timbers, you know how to make timbers? Okay, let's keep going. No, tell me what else. What else do you teach?
You can't copy from that. How to make, you said how to make
Oh, but I want you to think of something that you've done before that you can teach somebody else.
I know how to make
Alright, turn back to me. So I hear people saying things like some sports. Remember, if you're doing a sport, you're zooming in. So Ryan and I talked, Melina, about baseball, and he said, I could teach someone how to play baseball. And I said, oh my gosh, Ryan, well, that's a lot. I've been watching baseball a lot of years, and I still have some rules and things I don't know. That might be an all about book, right? But he could zoom in and tell us how to get ready for baseball. He could zoom in and tell us how to hit a ball. He could zoom in and tell us how to catch a ball. He could zoom in and tell us how to run bases. Because believe it or not, when you're little, you had to be taught how to run the bases the right way. Right? In fact, I was at Ryan and Landon and Jackson's game not too long ago, and I heard them fussing, teaching some of the kids that they had to run through first base. But can you run through second base?
No.
What will happen?
You get out.
Out. And I heard at his game, their coaches, Jackson's dad, saying, you have to run through first base, right? Because they were getting out, because they were slowing down. And first base is that jump, right? So he's teaching his players how to do that, okay? So sports, I heard some people saying, I help parents in the kitchen. question. I know how to bake cookies. Kenzie, you just learned how to make cookies, right? She just made cookies at my house, actually, right? With my daughter. She learned how to bake cookies. She made them from scratch, and they were delicious, right? Yeah, she's done it with her baby. So those are things. Now, if I say how to make lasagna, Miss Teasdale never made lasagna. I can think about maybe how, I know, I could think about it, but I've never made lasagna. I'm not gonna pick something that I haven't already done myself because I'm an expert at this and I'm gonna be teaching you. And I might get my steps mixed up. But I could teach you how to make spaghetti squash. I've done that, bless you. I could teach you how to do other things, especially in teaching or momming, being a mom, right? How to feed a baby. I know how to do that. I've done that lots and lots of times. So when you pick your topic tomorrow, you're going to think about, what do I know how to do? What have I done before that I know how to do well? Not like, oh, I don't know, I forgot that step, right? Like if I have to get the recipes out, if Kenzie were to write a book about how to make Taylor's chocolate chip cookies, she's probably not an expert on that yet. She would have to think about something that she's made before, okay? Lots of times before. If you need a recipe is a how-to book. It tells you all the steps to make something. And that's what you're going to be thinking about. What am I good at school? Oliver said, I could teach people how to be good at school. I know how to do that. I've been citizen mom. I'm pretty good at that. Right? That's what he's thinking. That's what he said he might write about. Okay? So you want to think. I want you to think about all the things you know how to do. And tomorrow you're going to do a brainstorming paper and you're going to think about zooming in and choosing the one thing that you want to make a how-to book about. And then we're going to do the steps. Did you hear some clue words that helped you today in that writing? What were the clue words that you heard that helped you put that writing in order? I heard you saying this. Let's see who was really thinking about that. Daniela, what's a word that you heard that helped you when you were putting your writings together? First. That means do that what? First. If the word says first, it means you better do that before anything else, right? See, Lyra, what's another one? Then. Then is another one you saw. Then. Gavin, what else did you see? Next. Andrew, what'd you see?
Third.
There was a third in there maybe. First, second, third, do this. Landon, what'd you see? Last was one. Richie, did you have any other ones? You still had a last two? And you have a different one, Jackson? Finally. Finally comes at the what? End. Finally means final, the end. This is the last thing you're going to do. You can mix it up. Some people might like to say last. Some people might like to say finally. Just like when we did right? We said also instead of another reason. We like to shorten it and put also. And you can do that too. All right, good job. Pat yourselves for that. Good thinking. I can't wait till you see all of your how-tos. Very excited. All right, I now owe you recess.
Yay!
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Ellis and I teach 6th grade math at Palm Harbor Middle School. I'm here to talk to you about my journey in working with the instructional staff developers for equity in my district. I got the opportunity this year to become a model classroom for culturally relevant teaching, and through that process I got to work with Kimberly. She coached me through the whole thing to make sure that my classroom culture was ready, my practices were ready, and overall we were ready to have visitors in my room to hopefully take back what they saw and bring it to their own classroom and touch that many more students through our work. So through the coaching process, there were a few things that I really enjoyed. The whole process was great to me because I felt like I just had my BFF in the classroom with me who bounced ideas off of each other, and it was just a really positive experience. But a couple things that were specifically helpful to me. The first one was the positive feedback and reinforcement. And I think we forget how much we love that as teachers. And it's nice to have somebody come into your room, but a couple things that were specifically helpful to me. The first one was the positive feedback and reinforcement. And I think we forget how much we love that as teachers. And it's nice to have somebody come into your room and not point out the things that you're not doing, to point out that what you are doing is best practice already, or hey, this is relating to equity. This does reach all of your students, and you're doing something that aligns to your goals already. And that's really nice to hear. The other piece to it, and it all kind of runs together, but the coaching piece where there's questioning and seed planting is one of my favorite things, because I feel like instead of being given a directive of what to do in my classroom, when somebody asks me a question about my practice, it makes me a little bit nervous at first, because I'm obviously then thinking, well, what am I doing wrong? But I had to change my mindset, have a paradigm shift there. But it really allowed me the good, the bad, the ugly, the good days, the bad days, the worst days, they see me. I'm human to them, and that's just kind of how we roll. And having my practices be mine, I just felt like it keeps my classroom real and authentic, and not being told what I need to do, but just to get a little seed planted, and then I think about it all night and I make it work for me and my classroom. And I think that that's been really beneficial, and it's gotten me excited about things again. And I think that if you ask my students, they would tell you the same thing, that I'm excited about what I can do to help them be successful. And they know how much I love them, and they know how much their success is important to me. So I urge you to take the step forward, to go out of your comfort zone and try maybe just one new thing this year. See if there's something you can get on board with, and I promise you, you won't regret it. Bye.